suggested that we had changed our room yet again, as in our bedroom. And for anybody who hasn't been here longer than 6 months, here's a quick recap since we lived in this home. So originally we moved in, we had our old low wooden bed frame. We then didn't like the fact that it didn't have a headboard, so my partner made one. We then enjoyed that for a while, but I really miss being low to the ground because, to be honest, I've always loved sort of furniture free style Japanese furniture that's extremely low. It makes me feel grounded. In Feng Shui, it also is said to give the illusion of there being more space upwards in the room, sort of vertically. So it's something that I've always loved. However, when we moved into this apartment, which is actually just around 30 meters squared, with a very peculiar layout with L-shaped rooms, alcoves, it's been really awkward, and we knew that the best solution for this home at the time was to have a slightly higher bed so we could store things underneath in proper metal and wooden drawers. However, after a little while, I really missed having the low bed. We had a brief trial of furniture free on the floor, but discovered that we definitely needed the underbed storage. So that's how we lived for quite a long time. And then when we rescued Zala, you can probably hear her chewing her toys slightly off camera, we realised we couldn't store things under the bed anymore. She was somehow managing to get herself inside them. She was chewing our clothes, leaving deposits in the drawers for us. So for the sort of 3 or 4 months that we've had her, we've had these tall, I want to say bedside drawers, but technically they were just slim drawers that we kept at the side of the bed so that we could put our drinks up high and not get them knocked over. But we had to keep our clothes out of Puppy's reach. But now that period of puppy time is sort of mostly over. She's still very much a puppy, but she's a little bit more trained. She doesn't really chew things anymore. And slowly, obviously over the 3 years that we've lived in this apartment, I know some of you saw in not last week's but the week's before video, this video, I showed you our first ever home tour because it's previously been unlisted. And since then, we have decluttered a lot. We've even decluttered more since moving into this home because that home was actually about 3 times bigger than this one. So what felt like not a lot in that home, when we moved to this home, still felt like a lot crammed into a smaller place. Even though it wasn't, it was just that we lived in a smaller space. So we soon realised we had to declutter more to feel the same sense of space. Now what has happened since we rescued Zala is we have obviously discovered that we really want to do van life, so we're gonna have to even get rid of a few more things. So we have been downsizing even more to do with how we store our wardrobe and other things, and it has come to light that we actually don't need any underbed storage anymore or the bedside drawers. So let me show you what I've done and give you a little walk around bedroom tour. Let me tell you my decisions behind why I have done what I have done. So my partner still has one slim chest of drawers here with all his things in. Not sure if that is staying like that, but I think that looks quite nice in that first alcove as we come in. We still use this as a little bit of a drying rack when our clothes aren't quite dry or for things that can't go in the dryer. Zala's just chewing her toy. We decided that now the bed is low again, Japanese style, we did still require a little bedside table, only because of Zala, because she does still run around, as I will show you at the end of this video. So she does require us to put our drinks a little bit on a ledge so that she can't knock them over. Then we could also use the window ledge at that side. And the reason I have decided to move the bed around this way again, if we do this, is the alcove actually comes in beneficial in this scenario because we can use it to store our suitcases. because our suitcases are basically now our only mode of storage. And we just keep all our clothes and personal items that are not needed sort of on a daily basis, and we just keep a sort of capsule wardrobe out to use. So that is the only storage solution in here. But what is great about that, with our cushion being how it is, it sort of disguises it a little bit, but I don't even think it looks that unpleasant with it sort of being aluminium. And if we really wanted to, we could actually get some kind of rattan or bamboo headboard there that just disguised the suitcases a little bit. We just thought that it kind of made sense now to go back to it being low. Then the bed is one less problem to get rid of at the point that we do decide to move out. But personally, even just living in the now, I like it. I have got the stone cairns still on there because I keep dried eucalyptus in them. And I just think it sort of adds a nice little bit of a relaxing aromatherapy to the room. And now, because of what I've done in other spaces in the home, there is simply nowhere else to put them, and I do quite like them. The bed was really tidy just before I started filming, but because Zala has been running around on it, it's looking a bit crinkled. But also, let's discuss that. It used to be that I only had white bedding, because to be honest, I prefer light bedding, you know. And the big new Japanese lantern, paper lantern, it was inexpensive. It was sort of £5. It didn't cost a lot to just replace that to sort of make it a little bit more simply themed in here. I really like the previous white crinkly bedding that we had, which would have really brought in the paper lantern. So I sometimes probably still will have that, but it will only be able to be on the bed about 2 days before it needs cleaning, like a little bit less than normal, just with Zala running around on it all the time. So for practical reasons, we have gone with a dark charcoal grey, just obviously because we have Zala playing and running around. And you can see she's previously just had an ice cube on the bed right before I started filming, and it's melted. Also, if you are new to my channel, we have not optionally chosen to have carpets in this flat. It is rented, so that is the landlord's choice. We do now have a carpet cleaner to clean all the carpets properly once a week. Then, as we come around the room, you may all be thinking, where is the desk gone? That is the subject of a future video, but basically we are in the process of getting rid of the standing desk. We basically would have preferred to keep that, but because this Scandi one just will not sell, we've had it listed for sale for about a year, we decided to keep this one out so that at the point that we leave this home, we can just donate it to the charity shop. We thought that the white standing desk would probably sell a little easier, and we just wanted to get rid of one of them to alleviate a little bit of space in the home. I like the fact that now our little paper light matches the paper lantern, and we have decided for the first time in years to actually keep a pen pot out because my partner's been doing a little bit more work from home and he just needs quick access to markers. So it's what's been easier now that we barely have any storage. And for also anybody that is new, this is a water boiler cupboard, and on the side of it now we just have my little jewellery plate, a little mirror, and yes, a cord-free lamp option, because I am so fed up of cords and wires. So this is a rechargeable battery option, and that will be great for when we go into the camper van. So I'm kind of swapping things slowly out for things that will also be able to go into van life. That's obviously just my Sage stick and the controls for the water heater. And although I haven't done it for this video, all we have on top of there is an electric blanket that has stopped working, so I will be getting rid of it, but I wanted to be able to recycle it. And the bowls that I mentioned I was getting rid of in another video, they've not gone, so they're just up on there until they do go. So let's talk about some other things. I realised I didn't tell you all where I was now keeping my stuff. Basically, my tech, my other bits and pieces inside those books, but I barely ever need them. That's why they're right up there. But I can reach this one quite easily to get it down. But one has underwear and loungewear, and that is my everyday clothing. And in the top are my partner's things. So when I was swapping out this bed the other day, I showed you all some video footage of that in the last video. We obviously just put our mattress on the floor for a while, and the bed frame actually sold within 12 hours. It turns out people always need beds. But we are actually swapping the mattress because my mum is going to give us a Futon style one quite soon. That is going to be the mattress that goes into our camper van. So we thought this was like a nice in-between period before we go in the camper van as well, because I get to lay on the nice firm ground, which is what I like for my sometimes bad back. It really sorts your back out when your back is playing up, sort of laying on a harder surface. But then when we go now, we don't have to worry about getting a bed frame, and the mattress can just go in our camper van, because it is increasingly looking like we won't buy one that is already done. My partner is obviously going to fit the frame for the bed in the camper van back, but then we will have our futon mattress nicely to go in that space. I think it'll all work out quite good. And in the meantime, I get to bring Japan to my home. As you're about to see when I do the kitchen tour in the next video, we got a few Japanese themed things. They were cheap, they were thrifted, because that's another thing as well. I often say on my channel that I am interested in interior design, and it doesn't mean that you have to have loads of home decor. It just means that the odd piece that you pick in your home that is utilitarian, that you genuinely need, pick really special key pieces, and they don't even have to be expensive. They can be thrifted, they can be made from materials that are inexpensive, like the paper lampshade for £5, which is about $6. This, you know, it wasn't expensive. There are loads of options if you shop around that are sort of, nowadays especially with planned obsolescence, expensive items don't guarantee quality. The cheapest items don't guarantee anything. So I've been choosing to either thrift or go for middle ground products. Really, you just begin to get an eye for by touching them or looking at the descriptions really well to make sure they sound above board. I'm actually loving the bed like this. We do have a couple of sets of bedding now to swap out because, you know, Zala is in here having a great time running around. The dark grey is definitely more practical, although I will always love the white. In a small home, I feel like white just really makes it feel bigger, and that clearly has worked for me, because I often get people saying it doesn't look as small as what you say, but it genuinely is. For instance, this room is sort of an L shape, and it's like 2 meters that way by 3 meters that way, but then we've lost the corner where the door is for the hallway. So it shows that the illusion of all the white and the low furniture in general is, as I was walking past the camera, in general it's really working to make it feel bigger. But also, guys, I can't explain enough how the higher furniture that we had to have while Zala was really young was really beginning to sort of make me feel not quite, I wouldn't go as far as to say stressed out, but I had this feeling when I came in the room that it was sort of suffocating and not enough space, probably because of what I've been used to in the past. But now that the bed is lower, I feel grounded again. It doesn't feel as busy. I just instantly feel more zen. It's just really, really a nice feeling. Because I can't go to Japan yet, as I explained in the last video. We're doing the whole of Europe first, while Zala gets a bit bigger, until we can leave her to be minded with my mum, who has a very big garden. We're going to bring Japan to us, and we haven't even wasted any money, because it's all sort of part of the process of eventually getting ready to leave, because we've got rid of our bed frame, We haven't spent any money. We're swapping the mattress for my mum's mattress because this one is very, very old. We've used a piece of furniture that was from the other room that now we don't need. And we swapped out even the tables that we were going to get rid of, but we decided to swap around which one we get rid of. So I think it's all turned out great, and I feel so much calmer with this solution. See you all in the next one. Bye!